Previously, and here we talk about getting men, Christian married men, aligned with their finances, getting them prepared to lead their families well, get out of debt, and do the thing that God has called them to do, whether it's to make an impact on the world or in their local communities, wherever that may be. I want to welcome you guys here. I want to know something. If you've been wanting to kill financial fear in 2025, then I want to let you know you are in the right place. What does it look like to kill financial fear? Well, we're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. But before you do that, if this is your first time on here, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to subscribe to this channel. On my left, I got my screen. So don't mind me if you see me looking to my left, but I'm here and intact with you. So I'm going to actually open up my my YouTube, because I want to be able to see comments, and you are feel free to go ahead and get into the comments, because we're going to be talking about killing financial fear in 2025. I don't know why I want to say 2023. That's so weird. But we're gonna get into that. Freddie, what's happening, man? Got the fire emoji. What's happening? I wanna get into what's holding people back from getting their finances right. We're going to talk about what is holding you back. Because in order for us to know where we are going, we got to know where we are. And listen, I'm going to tell you something right now. I don't have any notes or anything like that. This is just me, just live and direct with you. This is real raw and everything. And so I want us to get into understanding what is it going to take for us to kill financial fear in 2025, okay? Because this year it ends. The debt ends. The fear of going at what God is calling us to go at, it ends. It ends this year. So we're gonna do what is necessary in order for us to really do the thing that God has called us to do. So if you're watching me right now and you're not already subscribed to this channel, subscribe to this channel, because here's the thing. We're going on a journey. I'm not here for my own, like, this is not about Randall making money on YouTube. This is not about me trying to figure out how to, infiltrate your life in some way, shape, or form. No, I am looking to help transform your life as I go on that journey with you, because I want to transform my generations, my children, my children's children. Like, they will know Grandpa Randall. They will. I need a cool name. Randall is kind of long for people to say. So like my young boys to say, my young kids. I'm saying young boys because I got 4 boys, right? So if you're in the comments right now, let me know. Freddie says, ready for the journey, narrow road. Let's go. That's right, man. It is a narrow road, and we are going to go on that journey. I want to let you know something. Right now, like, as this video is being filmed, or not filmed, but like as this live is on right now, I'm actually not right this moment, but I actually have on my calendar days where I go and drive for Uber Eats. I'm not ashamed of my game. Like, and I'm saying this because I want you to know, do not let shame hold you back from taking on the steps that you got to take to where God is calling you to. Like, guys, you got to get down and dirty in the mud to do some crazy things that will seem to others like, what is he doing? I'm a school counselor. I am, this has nothing to do with anything, but I want you to know, like, I'm a school counselor. I'm an educated man. I am a pastor. I am, like, I've got an amazing wife, 4 children, a dog, all this stuff. But at the end of the day, I'm driving Uber Eats because I'm getting out of debt. I'm doing what it takes. I'm getting out of debt. So my question to you is, what will you do to get yourself out of debt? And it's not about the money. It's not about me getting out of debt because I want more money and this, that, and the third. No, it's because I know that if I continue to stay where I am with my finances, where it is currently, I will not achieve the thing that God is calling me to. That's the whole purpose of this thing. That's the whole goal of this thing. And so if you really want to carry out the legacy that God has called you to, then we got to kill this thing. We got to kill it. We got to annihilate it, never to come back again. And so, I'm actually going to be dropping a video. It's going to be coming out tomorrow. It's going to be about holiday spending, right? How many of y'all went crazy with your holiday spending? How many of y'all are looking at your your statements, right? I don't know if you still look at statements. I don't either. I look through my account, right? And I was trying to look for my phone, but how many of you looking through your phone? You're looking through your accounts. You're like, huh? $134. $72. I didn't know we spent that much on it. Like, what's going on? Did John even get his gift? I still got gifts. I still got two gifts. Let me know, y'all. Don't leave me here on the chat by myself. Like, type in the chat. Like, don't leave me alone. Are you the one looking at your accounts, looking at your situation, and you're like, when did I got two gifts, y'all, on my counter right now that I still haven't even given to the person. So we go crazy for this thing called Christmas, right? And I don't mean it in the sense like I'm a Christian. I love God, but sometimes and it's not even, this has nothing to do with God, so don't think I'm about to, this is blasphemy or anything like that. But we go crazy. If you guys are wondering what am I playing with, this is my son's little thing that he put together. It was one of his gifts. I didn't get him this one. You know how Legos is expensive, okay? So this is his little gift that he got, and I was just putting the ice cream cone back into the hand. So you're like, what is he doing over there? This is what I'm doing. I'm letting you in. Come on in, y'all. Come into my office. Take a seat. I actually have a chair right here next to me, so it makes me feel like I'm actually talking to someone, because it could feel kind of weird because I got myself on the screen right here, and then I just got these three little lenses on my on my phone that I'm looking at. And so it could feel kind of weird. So, and then you guys are not even connecting with me in the chat, right? I'm asking you to, but you're just like, yo, listen, Randall, we going at it. But anyway, forget all of that. But what I want us to do is that there is more that God is calling you to. There's more that God is asking you to do. There's more that you have. There is more that is inside of you, right? There's more. There is more. There's more that he's trying to pull out of you. There's a character building that he's doing in you. And as he expands your character, as he refines who you truly are, you are going to be able to grab hold of more, right? More. He's going to trust you with more. There's going to be, I love the scripture in Matthew chapter 25, I want to say, Proverbs. It talks about the parable of the talents. And as you're going through that, when you look at it, you recognize that when you're reading that, it says, the master said to the servant, I trusted you. I gave you a little, and you were able to basically multiply it. And because of that, I'm going to entrust you with more. And so, like, God wants to trust you with more. So when I say there's more, I'm not just saying it because it sounds good. No, I'm saying it because it is good, because it is what it is. And so if you are looking to God to do more in your life, then we've got to talk about some things. We've got to talk about the fact that there's some shame attached to where we are currently. And that's why I told you I'm driving for Uber Eats. There's no shame attached to that for me. I'm going to go straight at it, because if there's shame attached to you in terms of your job, in terms of the second job that you're working, the fact that you're working maybe 3 jobs, the fact that you still don't have your finances together, well, I want you to know that, hey, I'm working at it too. I'm working at it too. And I'm on here, and I don't care. I have no shame in my game. I don't care about what people think, because at the end of the day, no one's in my home when my wife is crying. No one is in my home when my sons are asking for for trips to Disney World. No one is there. And no one knows how that feels. No one is there when, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm just being real with you. I'm being real with you. And so we've got to kill the fear in 2025. We've got to kill fear of us talking about where we are, right? Fear of us talking about where we are, right? Where we are currently, what we're currently going through, right? And because sometimes as men, we tend to shy away from what's really going on in our lives. Everybody will ask us, "Hey, how you doing?" "I'm good, man." "Yeah, I'm good." Some of us, I've got a friend of mine actually that man, he's one of the best people to be around. He's one of the best people to be around. You know those type of friends where like life is always good for them. It looks like life is always good for them. It looks like things are going great in their lives. It looks like, they're always smiling. It's like you tell them you tell them what's going on with you, and they're like, "Man, it's gonna be all right. Ain't nothing." And you're looking at them like, "Man, you always optimistic. You always excited. You always this or whatever." But when you really get down to know him, when you stop for a second and you really connect, what I've come to realize is that, man, he's going through it. He is going through it, and he's going through it immensely. And I've been praying for him, and I want to say this, that this is a community where we are going to pray for each other. And so if you have anything that you need prayer for, I want you to put it in the comments. I want you to let me know. I want you to contact me. And I need to put my email on here. Like, hit me up via email and let me know, because we are going to pray about it. If you feel just a little bit of shame of putting it out there for everyone to see, that's all right. I'm not mad at that. But the fact that you're going to come and talk to another man about what's going on, then go ahead, put it on there. Freddie says he's getting a second job, been on his mind heavy. Like, man, listen, go for it. Talk to your spouse about it, right? Talk to your wife about it. And when you talk to your wife about it, look at where you are. Look at it. Don't be afraid to look at your situation. Many of us don't want to open up our mail. Many of us want to leave all of our mail closed up, right? And these are mail that just actually, I think, came up here. So you're like, "Randall, you too, you ain't opening up your mail either." Right? Like, many of us don't want to open up our mail, right? We don't want to open up our mail because we're over here just like, "Hey, I'm gonna actually just leave this," because you're afraid. You are afraid of what you're going to see, of you're afraid of what is going to actually say to you, and you're afraid of the fact that, like, man, I'm gonna open up this thing, and it's only going to be a reminder that I can't pay it. It's only going to be a reminder that this can't happen right now. It's only going to be a reminder of how deep of a situation I'm in, of how deep of a hole that I've dug myself into. Well, I want you to know that, A, that you are in the right place, because we are going to pick up the shovel and we are going to dig out. We're going to dig ourselves out. And not only are we going to pick up the shovel, but every time we dig, we're going to say, "Help." Every time we dig, we're going to say, "Help." We're going to figure out our way of getting out of our situation. But when we're calling out for help, what's happening is we're also signaling to someone else, saying, "Hey, help me out. Bring like I need help." And that's why I said email me. That's why I said put it in the chat, because what is your prayer request? What are you asking for help for? The question is not so much about what you're asking, it's about who you're asking. And I'll tell you something right now. And a matter of fact, you could not email me if you don't want to, but I would love for you to, because sometimes you have to come together in a community in order for you to be able to really. The way I look at it is, there's multiple sounds going up to heaven, talking about the same thing. And here's the thing, when I'm praying for you, I'll let you know something. Somebody's praying for me, because those that refresh others, they themselves will be refreshed. Some of us are so focused on our own situations that we don't have time to really go out there and help others. And this is why I'm saying, hey, let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're at. Let me know where you're at. Mal edits said, what am I talking about? I'm talking about men going through it when it comes to their finances. I'm talking about men dealing with, pressures of life on their shoulders, not understanding why they're gaining more weight, not understanding why they're losing their hair, not understanding why they don't have the drive to be intimate with their spouse, not understanding why they're in these situations and going through these things and wanting to eat more, or not wanting to eat at all, or always sounding frustrated, or consistently yelling and stuff like that. And I'm talking about that. That's what I'm talking about. Thanks for giving me an opportunity to really share that. That's what I'm talking about. And the fears of those things, the fear of those things, because at the end of the day, it's connected to the finances, it's connected to the bills that are coming in the mail, it's connected to the people that are knocking on the door, it's connected to the house that the siding on the house is coming off. The shed roof is leaking, right? And yet you don't have the finances to take care of those things, because right now that just ain't important. I've got to put food on my child's table. But I'll tell you something. Can I speak to you, man of God? Right? Like, what I want you to know is that in the fear, in the midst of the fear, when you come to the end of yourself, you come to the beginning of who God is. And when you come to the beginning of who God is, you begin to see that it goes beyond that there's more to it. And when you go more into it, you begin to realize that, oh, that God, you've got more for me. That God, that you didn't only want me to feed the people at my table, but the table gets extended and I'm going to be feeding others as well. That there's a business inside of me, that there's other communities inside of me, that it's not even only attached to my race, to my skin color, but it's attached to many other skin colors. Listen, let's talk about it. Like, we are in that age. Let's talk about it. And so I want us to kill financial fear. You're probably wondering, like, I've been having at least a couple of people watching steady right now, and you're attached to this because you're realizing, like, man, is this why I've been going through this? I'm here to be like a kind of like a Joseph, right? Kind of like a Moses. Like, Moses went into Egypt and grabbed hold of the Israelites that were in Egypt, that knew nothing about Israel. They knew nothing about Israel. Understand that when you look into the Bible, right? The Israelites of that time that were in Egypt, knew nothing about Israel. They knew nothing about Israel. I'm not talking about Israel, the person, but Israel, the place, and what the promise was that was attached. And so Moses went into Egypt to grab hold of the Israelites and to remind them. This is why it was so difficult for him to take them through this wilderness to the promised land, right? Because they did not know their lineage. Can I let you know who you are? You're a son of the king. I'm not talking about a king. I'm not talking about king whatever. Like, I'm not talking about Prince Henry or whatever. I'm talking about King Jesus. You are a son of the king, the king, the king. And so he has more for you. And if you're hopping on here right now and you want to go on a journey and you're ready for God to take you to where he has called you to be, to take you into a place of your identity and understanding your identity, well, I want you to subscribe to this channel, stick with me. Let's go on this journey together and understand who God is calling us to be. And because when you know who you are, can't no one take that away from you. No one can take that away from you, right? And so you've got to identify, where am I? Where am I currently? Like, if you want to kill fear in 2025, the question you need to ask yourself is, where am I? You could write that one down. Like, that's the question you need to ask yourself. That's the question that we need to ask ourselves, is, where am I right now? What's my financial situation? Why am I not able to get myself in the place that I need to be? And when you assess these things, then you're able to say, oh, okay, this is the things I've got to do. Here are some things I got to do. And if you don't know what you got to do, well, you go find somebody that knows. You go find someone that knows. And when you find someone that knows, then you're able to now step into more of what God has called you to. Because even in the process of developing, you're in the place that God has called you to. You know, many of times, man, this is just revelation to me right now. I'm just gonna drop this, and just stick with me, right? I feel like what happens is, and I'm closing my eyes because I'm just trying to envision this what I'm saying to you. Like, I feel like, and guys, let me know in the chat if this is good. If you just feel like I'm rambling and I'm just going all over the place, like, let me know. But is this good? Because I'm speaking to you, and if it's not good, then I could hop off right now, right? So let me know. Whether drop a fire emoji, drop something. If you got me on the background, just grab the phone real quick and let me know if this is good. And I don't mean it, it's not for my own, like, it's not for me. It's just so I know that I'm feeding you well, right? And so I feel as if that, and this is me. This is let me speak to you from my perspective. I've constantly felt as if, like, I'm trying to get somewhere, right? I'm on a journey to somewhere where God is calling me to. And as I'm on a journey to somewhere where God is calling me to, I have not arrived to that place. And every single time that I feel like I haven't arrived, and I actually recognize that I haven't arrived, it frustrates me. I'm just being real with you. It frustrates me. And it frustrates me because I feel like I should have been where I want to go. But here's the interesting part, is that I did not put the journey, I did not put the address on the GPS. I did not enter it. God entered the address on the GPS. The very fact that I'm in the car with God excites God as my father, right? It excites God. It's not even about the destination that matters. It's the journey that matters. That should have blown your mind right there, because it's starting to blow my mind. Is that, and I recognized this a while ago, actually, but I'm actually being reminded of that now. And that there is so much more in the journey than actually at the destination. You like, write that one down. I'm going to write that one down, because there is so much more in the journey than there is at the destination. There's so much more in the journey, and I'm repeating for myself now at this point, in the journey than there is at the destination. And if we keep focusing so much on the destination, we're going to lose sight of everything that's worth it in the journey. Your family, the kids, your wife, the lessons learned, right? Anybody ever take a road trip before? I think the road trip is the fun, like, that's the funnest part. That's the most fun part of the trip is the route there and the route back. Getting there is awesome. That's great. You have fun. It's great. It's awesome. It's good. But the road trip is it's like really what's memorable. I remember taking road trips with my family. I remember what, when we got to a certain place and we're like, oh, look at that. I remember the conversations in the car. Like, don't lose sight of the conversations that you can have with God on the road to the journey. You want to kill financial fear? Get into your word. If you want to kill financial fear in 2025, get into your word and let the word of God begin to minister to you in such a way. Imagine that he's in the driver's seat, you are in the passenger seat, and there are going to be times where you fall asleep, you doze off, but then there's going to be times where you wake up and you're like, yo, what's going on? What's happening? Oh, how are you? You get this boost of energy and you start talking and you start to go through the word. And the word is just the conversation that he's having with you. The word is just the moments that he's spending with you, beginning to teach you some things and impart something to you. That's the word. And you're probably wondering, like, what does this have to do with finances? Everything. It has everything to do with finances. Because I'll tell you what, the reason why we are in the situation that we're in is not because of money, it's because of intellect. It's because of your mindset. It's because of just of how we think about money, of how we think about our situation, of how we think that the destination is actually the point of success. But it's the fact that we got in the car to get to the destination. That's the success. That's the success. Because I'll tell you what, you ever drive somewhere with your spouse, right? You're sitting in the car and you're not talking, you mad, you're upset. And as you're upset and you're sitting there, you're like, and you don't want to talk about nothing. When you get to the destination, it's not like you could just turn that off and be like, all right, we made it. We here now. How you doing, baby? Give me a kiss. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Because you know what's gonna happen. It's either you gonna just get like a cold shoulder. If your wife got long hair, it's gonna be like, you know what I mean? I can't even do it. Or it's gonna be it's gonna be some crazy that is just gonna let you know, like, you got the wrong one. So you better get right now. It's not about getting to the destination. It's about focusing on the journey and enjoying what God has for you in the moment. And in the moment, what he has for you is a process. It's character development. So one of the things that we can do in 2025 to kill financial fear, one is understand where you are, assess where you are. But then number two is understanding that, like, I've got to live in the moment. I've got to live in the moment. I'm already successful. I'm already at the point of success because I got in the car. I got in the car and I'm ready to go on the road. And I'm telling you, that is going to put you in the space that God is calling you to. Because in the car is where he can begin to minister to you. And the word minister means, for those of you that may not necessarily be Christian or may not understand that word necessarily, and I get it because I didn't really either, but it's really it's like this deep conversation that connects to your situation, that transforms your environment or whatever challenges that you're going through. That so that's what God is looking to do in the process of us being on the road. Like, I remember 2017, 2017, right? I was in a car with this man of God. He was a prophet, and it was my duty, to my responsibility, which was a privilege for me to drive him all the way to from where was it? From Bridgeport, Connecticut to JFK in New York, airport in New York. And as I drove all the way through there, the goal in the ride wasn't even, I mean, the goal, the destination was the airport. But by the time the airport got there, by the time I got to the airport, I would have, I would have dropped him off. That was the goal, is to drop him off. But that whole entire time that we were in the car, man, snot was coming down my nose. My tears were like streaming down my face. And this man was just speaking into my life the entire time. The entire time. To the point where actually so much was ministered in that moment, in that time, that has come to pass already. That has come to pass already. That it completely, there was a specific um um there was a specific prophecy that he gave that completely changed the trajectory of my life to the point where I'm actually here right now. He told me that, he said to me that, hey, there's going to be this Caucasian man that is going to come into your life. And when he steps into your life, he is going to teach you everything he knows. And it's gonna, he's not gonna hold back. He's gonna teach you everything, and it's going to change who you are. You are going to, and you're gonna know how to do it too. Like, and he's just gonna, he's not gonna hold back on anything. He's going to open up the book and he's going to share everything. And can I say that that Caucasian man was my pastor? At the time, I didn't know. It's funny. It's not like I was looking for a white pastor or anything like that, or I was looking for a Caucasian man. But I'll tell you what, every Caucasian man that came through, I was like, is it you? And there was one man that I did connect with. I built, this relationship with. I started to, I was working with him in business. I'm very passionate about real estate and business for that matter. And so, we started working together. But then eventually, I felt like God was just like, "This ain't it, Randall. This ain't it." And I would have lost, I'd have missed my chance, I'll be honest, if I stayed there. And so in the process of that, and this is all through the journey, basically, right? And then when he ministered that, it changed my life forever. And when I actually, and it's not even, not it, when this man became my pastor, when my pastor became, my pastor, I didn't even realize it then. It's not until maybe about a year later, maybe 6 months to a year later, I remembered these words, and I was just like, oh shoot, it's you. It's you. And when I realized it was you, I mean, when I realized it was him, I told him, and he was just like, what are you talking about? But then, it's actually become a story, like a staple story in our ministry, which is V1 Church. As you can see, that's the church I go to. Am I pointing at the right? Oh, right here. And it's actually been a story in our ministry, V1 Church, that basically, yeah, it just goes back to that. And in the process of that, it's like as I've been able to build that relationship with him, and I'm telling you, it's the truth. Like, he has shared everything and still continues to. And 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 I say all of that to say that if I was in the car just focused on the destination and just like kind of block this man out, my whole life, like where I'm at today, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be the acumen that I have, me being a pastor for a campus in New Jersey alongside with my wife. Um, you know, uh, uh, Me being, there's so many things. Having multiple businesses that I've started, that I've failed at, that I've, being able to, my family, to not even my family, but specifically my wife and I, to be so connected and in alignment with each other, I wouldn't be here. Though those things would not have happened. And this man has, I've gone forth to build a great relationship with this man of God, and see, God do some great things, and for him to see, prophecy fulfilled over and over and over again in my life. But that's all because of the journey from Bridgeport, Connecticut to JFK Airport in New York. And that journey has been able to pretty much solidify what I understand as, hey, Randall, focus on the process. Stop thinking about the destination. So really, just like, you want to kill financial fear in your life, you've got to reveal it. You've got to reveal what's happening by assessing where you are, by getting yourself in a place where you understand and you see where you're at, and not to be afraid of getting an accountability around you and getting connected with people. Like, God is going to do a thing in your life, and don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of that. Don't lose sight of what God is going to do. Because, and if you lose sight of what he's going to do, then you need to reassess where you're at and understand that, okay, now this process that I'm about to go through, I need to really dial in on the process and not worry about the destination. Because I'll tell you what, the destination you think you're going to go to may not even be the destination you arrive at. And if you are thinking about the destination you want, you might arrive to the destination that is for you and miss it. Isn't that like the worst thing ever? When you're driving somewhere, you have no idea where you're going, but then you get there, and you look around, and you're like, man, this doesn't look like the place I thought I was going to go to. And then you start driving further and further and further. And then when you drive further and further, you then now recognize that that, man, wait a minute, I was where I was supposed to be, but I didn't realize that because I was so focused on what I wanted. Only God, man. Only God. Only God can begin to reveal to you what your identity is through his word. And through his word, as he reveals to you what your identity is, you will then, only then, you will understand what it is, where it is that he's trying to take you. Where it is that he's trying to take you. Just to give you an example, my family and I, we went to the Intrepid in New York State, and New York State, New York City. And as we went to the Intrepid, we were she had my wife had gone in with the kids, and I had went to go find parking. And so now we're just, we're communicating over the phone, and I'm like, hey babe, where are you? She's like, oh, I'm at the what was it called? It wasn't the nurse's station. It was the sick bay. She was like, I'm at the sick bay. And I'm like, okay, cool. You're at the sick bay. I didn't ask any questions. I didn't ask questions. You can put that down. Ask questions. And I'm gonna tell you real quick. I'm gonna go back to my story, but I'm gonna tell you why you need to ask questions. Because in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1 through 7. Oh, you thought I wasn't gonna bring the Bible? You thought I wasn't gonna bring the Bible? Come on now. Like, we're doing finances God's way. Of course I'm gonna bring the Bible. All right. Of course I'm gonna bring the Bible. All right. So Proverbs chapter 1, verse let's see where. 5. Yep. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. It says, let the wise hear and increase in learning, and the one who understands obtain guidance. Oh, y'all missed that. You missed it. You missed it. Let me say it again. Let me say it again for you that missed it, okay? Let me say it again for you that missed it. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. I mean, verse 5, excuse me, verse 5. And guys, you're probably wondering, what Bible is this? Well, this is what we call the Daily Growth Journal at our church. And this is not I'm not trying to sell you my church. Like, that's not what I'm trying to do. If you're not in a church, get to a church. And if you need a church, you can come to my church. But if you don't even want to go to a church named V1, that's all right, as long as you're in a church. And we're going through the Bible. We're going through the Bible for 365 days. And we have what we call the Daily Growth Journal. It's kind of like a workbook in a sense, because we get to write in it. If you look and you see like all of these writings, right? Because I write in my Bible, and you can write in your regular Bible as well. Don't like, this is not a museum. This is not an artifact. Like, it is the living word of God. Okay. And so, we've been going through the Bible, I'm on day 7, January 7th. Okay. Fresh manna. And if you haven't gone through your Bible, well, here's an opportunity. We read Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1 through 7. And the scripture that I'm reading to you right now is very important, because it says, let the wise hear and increase in learning. And the one who understands obtain guidance. The one who understands obtains guidance. How many of us have gone through someone giving us information, and as the person is giving us information, we are like, okay, yeah, I got it. And then you continue to go forward, and you're like, dang, what did he mean by that? My wife will always tell me, like, I'll tell her something, and then she'll be like, okay, well, all right, so what about this? And what about that? And what about this? I'm like, I didn't ask all of that. And she's looking at me like, so how do you know what to do? I'm like, dang, that's a good question. That's a good question. And so I was at the Intrepid, right? And I'm asking her, I'm not even I'm asking her, but she's telling me where she's at. And I'm like, okay, cool, you're at the sick bay. And when I get to the sick bay, matter of fact, I didn't even get to the sick bay. I got on the level that she's at. Like, there's 2 levels pretty much, and I got to the level that she was, and now I'm walking, and here's oh man, here's the interesting part about this. Right? And this is all connected to that, imagery I gave you of like you driving somewhere, you get there, and then you didn't even realize you were there yet. And then you get to the destination you think you're going to, and then you're like, oh, nah, this ain't it either. Man, in fact, I was at the place I was supposed to be. So here's the interesting part, right? I want you to imagine this is the Intrepid. Okay? This is the Intrepid. My keyboard is the Intrepid. And so I just want to make sure it's like centered for you. Okay? All right, cool, it's centered. So this is the Intrepid. I walk in through this area right here. This is me, right? This is me. Okay. Over here, matter of fact, I walk in through here. All right, don't judge me, because I know what I'm saying. I walk in through here. Okay, I'm here. And then while I'm here, there is a table, an information table that is positioned right here. Rather for me to walk over to the information table, I act like I know where I'm going, and I start walking. When I get to this point right here, I'm like, hey, where are you? And she's like, I'm at the sick bay. Do you see where all the planes are? And I'm like, I just passed all the planes. And then I walk back, and still I didn't learn from my mistake. I still didn't ask her, what does it look like around you? As a matter of fact, she told me, hey, I'm coming towards you. Let me just stay where you're at. And I was like, whatever. Ain't that like God? Hey, don't make another step. Don't make another move. Let me come towards you. The prodigal son was walking towards his father. His father, rather than just waiting there to allow him to arrive, he runs to him. Man of God, let me let you know something. Son of the king, your father wants you just as much as you need him. And he will run towards you if you just begin to turn back and listen to the voice of the Father And the way that you'll do that is getting into the word. And as you get into the word, you will begin to recognize that he's got everything available for you. Everything available for you. And so I'm standing here at the area where she told me, and I said, nah, I'm gonna walk back, I'll find you, whatever. I'm gonna look for this sick bay. I'm gonna find this sick bay because this sick bay is, she said it's there, so I'm gonna find it. And guess where I went? I passed by. Mind you, guys, okay, mind you, the sick bay is in this area. Remember, I walked in through here, the sick bay is over here, right? It's at the O. I know you can't see, but the sick bay is right here. Okay, the sick bay is right here. I'm trying to find things on my desk to try to signify where the sick bay is. Okay, this is the sick bay. All right, this is the sick bay, and the sick bay is located right here. I come in through here. The sick bay is so close, so close. I passed the sick bay again after my wife told me, Randall, wait. After God told you, Freddie, wait. Such and such, wait. Johnny, wait. Edwin, wait. Jose, wait. And while I pass by there, guess where I ended up again? Not where I started, but now back to the members desk, asking, hey, where's the sick bay? The question I could have asked in the very beginning. Where's the sick bay? And just for illustration purposes and just for fun, I'm going to tell you what ends up happening. But I'm going to go back to that moment where I said, where's the sick bay? So now I go and the membership, the people at the membership desk tell me, hey, the information desk tell me, hey, the sick bay is not an actual sick bay. When you're passing by, you'll see it. It says this, that, and third, whatever. And so I look, I walk back, and I see that this is the sick bay. This has always been the sick bay. I passed by it twice, and now when I head back, I pass by and I realize my wife is no longer there because she had told me to wait where I was, and then she tells me. Then when I get to where I was, where she had told me to wait, that's where she's at. And I just lost calories because I walked and did and wasted time and did all these things that I didn't need to do. From the very beginning, you could have asked a question. From the very beginning, I could have asked the information desk, hey, where's the sick bay? I would have found my family and we would have gone together and continued to, enjoy the journey of what's going on in this place that we were in, which is the Intrepid Museum. Many of us are like, we have our family there with us, and we're looking at our debt as if it's this mountain that we'll never be able to go through, that we'll never be able to climb, that we'll never be able to get over. And I want you to begin to look at your debt as not a mountain that you'll never be able to climb, but as a challenge, as an obstacle that when you get over to the other side, you'll look back and say, you know what? Now I know the right route to take. Even though I took a wrong route, I know what's the right route. Now I can go back on the mountain, grab hold of others, and I'm going to take them on the right journey to get to the next place. And listen, I'm not saying, oh, after you get out of debt, go get other people, this, that, and the third. No. But I'll tell you what I am saying is this, is that in the process of you enjoying the journey of where you are with your family, of where you are, of what you're going through, of what's going on in your life, you will now begin to be in a place where you will begin to see things a little different. As a matter of fact, you'll begin to pay attention more of what's going on around you. You'll be able to pay attention more of like, oh, you know what? Let me take note right here. I don't know why, but this looks important. This what do they call those things? Landmark. This landmark looks like something I should this is, and this reminds me of like when Abraham and Isaac and Jacob and all of these different people, like they built altars. It was a sign of remembrance. It was a stone of remembrance. It was like, and you know what? Like every single one of my children, I feel as if they were stones of remembrance in my life. Like there was like chapters closing and chapters opening. And so you get to these moments and you can miss it if you're so focused on the destination as opposed to being focused on the journey. And you'll go on this route and you'll miss what is supposed to happen with you and your family because you're so busy looking for something that you thought you knew what it looked like. You thought you knew what it was supposed to be. And when you arrive there, you recognize that, oh shoot, I just missed the whole time. I just missed the whole moment. I just missed this whole opportunity. And you can't get it back because that opportunity has gone, even when you try to remake the moment. Like, no matter how good of a director you are. This is why they put bloopers at the end, because you can't remake those moments. You can cut it, you can edit it, you can remove it, but it's still available. And when you look at it, the image I have is Rush Hour, and Rush Hour 1, 2, and 3, where just Jackie Chan and Chris Rock, they're looking at each other and they just make these funny moments, and they're both comedians, and so they make these funny moments, and they're not both comedians. Chris Rock is a comedian. Jackie Chan is just like this serious fighter. And then in this movie, he becomes a comedian. And in the process of him being a comedian, he has like these three amazingly great movies that he does. But you can't recreate the moments of the comedy that happened in it. And that's what made it so good. That's what made it so rich. So don't be like me. Do not do like the members desk, the information desk. You know what that is, right? The information desk is this. It's the word of God. Is this. Is the daily growth journal, which is the word of God. It's these things. Like this is it. It's the Bible. Bible. It's the Bible. That's what the information desk is. That's where I could have gone in the first place and just asked the gentleman, like, hey, where is the sick bay? That's where my family is. I need to find my family. So when you hop off of here, I want you to ask the Lord, where's the sick bay? Like, God, where am I right now? Because I'm ready to kill this financial fear. I'm not going into I'm not going through 2025 trying to still figure it out. I'm not going through 2025 still trying to figure it out. It's already been figured out. You know exactly what I need to do. You know exactly where I need to go. You know exactly what I have to do, what job I need to work. You know exactly what needs to be done. Where's the sick bay? Where's the sick bay? Because my family is there, and that's where I need to be. Although I want to, take a journey on this on this road on my own at sometimes. I want to get to the destination and I want to get there fast. But at the end of the day, let's slow down for a little bit. Let's take in the scenery. Let's take the scenic route. Let's stop at the rest stop. Let's stop at the rest area. Let's just pause for a little. Let's take a nap. Let's enjoy ourselves. Let's throw the ball a little bit. Let's let the dog out. Let's let him run a little bit. Like let's take it easy. and because at the end of the day, I'll tell you what, God literally, the way I sometimes look at kids, because it's so fascinating to me, that one day they'll be crawling on the floor, and then all of a sudden they'll be walking, then running, then jumping off the couch. Then all of these things And then they'll start talking and saying things and saying certain words, and they'll start their mannerisms, their facial expressions, all of these things will start to like do this thing and reconnect. And as that's happening, you're looking and you're like, wow, this is amazing. This is amazing. And the way that I always look at it is, I just feel like, and this is what my wife and I, we say is, my wife will be like, "Oh, you won't believe what our baby did today." And then I'll look and I'll be like, "What did he do?" And then she'll tell me. And when she says it and I see him do it, I'm like, "Wow, God turned on that switch today." Like, do you understand that the Alpha and the Omega can literally just flick a switch and your entire life changes? Do you understand that God literally just flicked the switch and I got connected to Apostle Michael Signorelli? Do you understand that I made a decision to go all in on the church that I'm at, which is V1 Church, which is where my lead pastor Apostle Mike pastors, or does the thing he does. And when he and it was in a flick of a switch, basically. Because when people look at it, it's like, yo, wait, what? But what we don't recognize is that the entire time before that switch just flips, there's a character process that's being molded. There's this development that's being taking place. There's these changes that are happening. There's these things that are going on behind the scenes that we have no idea. And when God sees that it is good, that it is ready, that it is good in the sense, he now flicks the switch and says, let's shine some light on it. Let's shine some light on it. And when he shines that light, it's like, okay, now's the time. It's in the flick of a switch. Like literally, God is just waiting to flick that switch on. And the moment you may think it's going to take 2 years. You may think it's going to take 5 years. You may think it's going to take a year. But the moment this changes right here, man, the rest is history. The rest is history. So listen, go ask God. Where's the sick bay? Where's the sick bay? Like this whole entire conversation can land on that. Where is the sick bay? Because the moment you identify where you are, you assess your situation, and you realize that I can't do this. I've been trying to. I can't do this. And you recognize that there is a information desk right over here. And as you go through it, you begin to realize like, okay, I need to talk to God. Where's the sick bay, Lord? And once you realize where the sick bay is, you go to that sick bay, all right? You begin to now step into the journey. You're not going to get to the destination right away. You are going to get into the journey. And when you get into the journey, you're right where you need to be. You're right where you need to be. You scale the mountain, you go on the other side, and you realize you made it. And you're like, all right, that was great. But what matters most is the journey that I just had. It's the knowledge that I just gained through the journey. It's the experience that I just had that no one can ever take away from me. That's what matters. And it's those moments that will change the life around you and those that are looking to you, your children, your family, your wife, the people that you influence, your job, all of these different things that begin to change everything around you. And then you start to feel purpose. You start to recognize like, oh, shoot, I am a son of the King. Oh, wow. The destination, yeah, it's cool, but there's more. Like you have no idea what's on the other side of that mountain. But God with the aerial view knows exactly what's on the other side of the mountain. He's waiting for you to do it. And if you even dare do it, you could go back and say, hey, you know what? I know how to get around this. And even though I do know how to get around this, it might look a little different because the amount of people that I might bring with me may not even require me to go around this. God might do a miracle and listen, I might realize there's a cave that just led right through the mountain this entire time. And that's even sweeter too, because still, there is a certain level of authority you carry now because you went the harder way, but then at the same time, you were still able to blaze a new trail that allowed you to go right through. And listen, what does this all have to do with finances? Everything. Everything. Your mind gets right. You build this fortitude of knowing like, man, this is where I am supposed to be. And because I'm supposed to be here, there's something for me to learn. And because there's something for me to learn, there is something for me. There is someone, and not necessarily someone, but there is like my God has the answer. And so I'm just going to do the blueprint. And when I do the blueprint, I'll be able to get to where he's called me to be. And the destination, yes, it will be great. But you know what's sweeter is the process. I've said it 10 different ways. So let's go on this journey. If you're watching right now, you've been with me, you've been hanging. I love it. I appreciate it. I want you to subscribe to this channel if you haven't. If you just want to share this with someone, I would appreciate if you can, because you know someone else needs to hear this. And so share it with that person, share it with your brother, share it with your cousin, share it with your uncle, share it with your father, right? Your friends, whoever it is, share with somebody. Let them know that this is where you are going to go on the journey to revive your finances, to live your purpose, and to do all that God is calling you to do. We're doing finances in God's way in 2025. We've done it our way already. Now we gonna do it God's way. We're gonna get this mind right, and we gonna start to impact the community around us. Let's go. Let's do this. Revive your finances, live your purpose. I'll see you next time. I'll be back on, what's today's day? I'm already in Thursday. Today's Tuesday. I'll be back on Thursday at 9. Let's go. We'll be talking about, let's see, what do I got going on? We'll be talking about the plan for where you are going. Okay, the plan for where you are going. So and hit that notification bell so that way whenever something hits, whether it's a new video, whatever, you have access to that. And so I just want us to go on this journey together. I don't want you missing anything. We're gonna build this out. We are gonna build this out. I love it. Let's go. See you.